Greetings, and welcome to the world premiere Word on the Streets. We're live every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't miss out. After a week full of noise, confusion, and constant distractions, this is the show that cuts through the clutter. It's the hour of the week, where real talk meets real truth. We bring conversations that challenge the status quo and stir something deeper in the soul. This isn't just commentary, it's clarity, purpose, and elevation. When you tune in, you're not just watching, you're waking up. A place where common sense still matters and lives. So ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake, this is the world premiere Word on the Streets. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your hearts and hands together for the man who discovered his purpose and lives it loud, Larry Extraordinaire Moten, and the motivator born to ignite minds and shift atmospheres, the amazing Keith Fletcher, and the man who brings clarity to the chaos with the voice of reason you can't ignore, the one and only Mr. Vincent Craig. Make no mistake, there is no word without our host. Welcome to the movement, welcome to the message, welcome to the world premiere, Word on the Street.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the world premiere, Word on the Streets. Folks, we're so excited. We're so happy to be back with you. I don't know about you all, but every time I hear that beat, every time I hear that groove, it does something to my soul. I'm happy to be here, and I see the gentleman's already here, live and ready to get it on, friends. We're happy to be here. Hello, friends. Hello, brothers. What's up with y'all?
What's going on, team? How y'all doing? How y'all living today?
Living good.
Doing well. How y'all doing? I'm doing well, man. How about y'all?
Good to be here, man. I'm just ready to get this started.
Yeah, it's good to see both of you gentlemen.
Go ahead, Jordan.
You know, it's good to see both of you all, and I always kind of like to say, now, folks out there, I know it's two good reasons why you all show up every Thursday. One of them is the amazing Keith Fletcher, and the other one is the man with the voice of reasons. So, friends, I'm going to slide out of the way, and let's bring these gentlemen on the way they deserve to be brought on. Hey, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Now let's do this thing right. Okay, brothers, how y'all doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for bringing that energy, too. Sorry I wasn't able to make it last week, but I had to take vacation, and I'm fully refreshed, and I'm ready to just speak the word.
That sounds good.
Man, it must be nice. It must be nice to take that vacation. But hey, I'm here, man. I'm a little sluggish, so I'm gonna ride on y'all back tonight, man. So, but I'm here. You know what I'm saying? We ain't giving up. Ain't no reason, excuses. I'm here. So, but I'm gonna ride with y'all. So good to see y'all, man. Good to see you, V. Good to see you, Extraordinaire, man. To be here.
Well, I'm gonna say this, brothers. It's when we go live, it just does something to the soul. And friends, make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. Tonight, we're going to chop it up. We're going to talk about the battle within, the silent battle within. So many of us are dealing with this thing on the inside. And so often, to be perfectly honest with you all, we confuse a lot of the things we're dealing with and coping with on the inside, and we muddy that thing all up, and we just get utterly, totally confused. But if you stick around, the amazing Keith Fletcher and the man with the voice of reason, Mr. Vincent Craig, we're going to chop it up, and we're going to break it down, and we're going to serve it to you bite by bite. So you don't want to go anywhere, friends. I'm excited to be on the platform with these gentlemen because I know how they bring it. So we're going to serve this, and we're going to go in the kitchen. I'm going to go in the kitchen right now. Fletcher, I'm going in the kitchen right now, and I'll tell you what I'm cooking in here, man. Before we break it down about the silent battle, winning the war within, why don't you share with our community what you talked about on your platform on Facebook? I kind of drove by and I heard something about Gen X, but I didn't get all the tea leaves. So if you would be so kind of just kind of give us an overview what you talked about, that'd be fantastic.
Well, man, I was talking about the Gen X and the millennium, why they struggling, man. A lot of, I be on, see on social media, a lot of them talking about, the prices, everything, student loans, you can't buy a home, jobs, so went over, they calling the young men YNs, you know what I'm saying? So when dug deep and went, do some research, and then I laid it out. I questioned the people first on Facebook. Why do you think that they are having struggles? And a lot of people were saying about how they was raised, the mothers, raised as single mothers, social media, things like that. And then Oprah had a thing on. I brought some people on Oprah had a commentary. Then I had a girl named Erica from Classic Klein had a commentary, and a couple of people I brought on what they had to spin on it. Then I put my spin. But he was talking about what it is, why they having a struggle in 2025. So that's what it was about. And we cracked the egg. So I posted a thing that got a lot of comments, and a lot of people came on it. So did a polling on that. So, but it was a combination of things. But I think a lot of things how they was raised. I don't think the kids have goals. We didn't set goals for them. Also. Finances, teaching about finances. I believe a lot of it have to do with parenting, setting goals and stuff like that. But and the world has changed. Student loans, we telling our kids to go to college and not guiding them on what to do in college. You know what I'm saying? And when they do mess up, it's so easy to just, hey, you grown, you do what you want to do. So a lot of things. I did two episodes on. I did one with this guy. He was talking about his son was 18 and he was messing up. He was gonna go to college. Then he gave him an option if he don't go to junior college, he can go home. He can go to military, junior college, or he can go with his mother. You know what I'm saying? And he chose his mother, and the guy was so devastated. But and then when he was talking about it, he said, "Well, my son was coming in at 4 or 5 in the morning," and I was like, "That was right there. Why were your son coming in your house at 18 at 4 or 5 in the morning? you wouldn't set no goals then anyway." But it was a combination of things. But we just cracking it egg. And then when I told him what was going on, then I gave him some solutions to solve the problem. So that's what it's about. It was about an hour show, but like I said, it ain't gonna be done overnight. It's just a lot of what we doing right now. A lot of stuff's mental, you know what I'm saying? But I really believe it's how we walked out the door. Our kids can't walk out the door. We got to be more hands on these days. We got to be a team with them because there's a lot of things that's changing. The world is changing so fast. Even the speed of money is going so fast. There's no more. Before it was gold and you couldn't carry gold, and it came over coins, then it came over dollar bills, and now banks, and now it's coming digital. So things are moving fast. So that means data is moving fast. I mean, information is moving fast. There's so much information, and I just think our kids they're gonna need more. We got to do something different.
You see that, friends? You see how this topic become a hub for other subtopics. So we're talking about the battle within. The battle within, when there's a battle, it doesn't just stay in one place. If there's a battle with you, I guarantee you it's leaking and seeping out someplace else in your home, in your situation, in your life, on your job. And having said that, Jensen, brother, I'm gonna be honest with you. I enjoy your tone, man. You got it's not Barry White, but you got a tone that requires listening to. So when we talking about the battle within, a lot of time we had a battle because the age old question, who are you? That question right there stumble so many of us up. Who are you? Who you've been? And who are you becoming? Now I know that's a lot to lay on your plate, but you can take whatever portion of it you want to and kind of talk to our community about this.
I appreciate that. If you don't mind, can I step back a little bit and kind of comment on what Keith said?
Absolutely.
As far as, because I know I didn't want to break protocol, but then whenever the spirit hit me, I have to, yeah, kind of pop out of
You,
my shell.
you want to stay in alignment.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
So I agree with what Keith said, but there's two sides of that coin. Sometimes when we do everything, when we've shown our kids everything, when we've shown and given them the blueprint, and it's like we've done everything according to a plan, right? Things don't always go as planned. I think we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. It's talking about sometimes experience has to be the best teacher. And I laugh at it because one day, just about a month ago, Keith and I were talking on this porch. We were talking about our kids, and I was telling him how I was worried about my youngest, and we're just going on and on. And he was like, "How did we turn out? Like we did stupid stuff, and we turned out all right, right?" So it's like you look at time being on their side. Now, in saying that, times are a little bit different than what they were when we were 19 and 20 years old. Uh, so I agree with what Keith said, but I also like to step out a little bit further and just say, sometimes it doesn't matter what we do and show our kids, just like we were when we were their age, we're going to make our own decisions. And sometimes those decisions aren't always the right ones. They aren't always the most wise choices that they make. But in the end, kind of like the prodigal son, he came on back home. Old man was waiting on him with his robe and, through a feast and through a party. But sometimes we can do everything that we have in our best interest, and it still doesn't turn out the way that we plan because they have to go on their journey in order to find themselves. Yes, we want them to not to have to struggle, right? I say that, but then I kind of want them to struggle a little bit because it's the struggle that made us. It's the struggle that made you extraordinary. It's the struggle that made you, Keith. It's the struggle that made me. Without those struggles, you have to have a little bit of adversity in order to step into your purpose and to know how to handle stuff. Because one thing you don't want to be is just, shelter our kids so much so that when they do hit the streets and they do hit the real world, they know how to deal with it. And if I've always told my sons, and you make it in my household, you can make it anywhere. God forbid, right? Because I know basic instructions before leaving Earth, right? That's what the Bible, some may say it stands for and things of that nature. But for me, I kind of pull away from the root of the foundation of the word, the root of the people that I've been able to come in contact with and walk and do life with, learn and put all that together. But here I am at 53, right? I'm still digging in some of those conversations and that I've had with mentors and big brothers in the neighborhood and friends and family and uncles and things of that nature, right? Sometimes you have to be around people, and it's called like the fruits of the spirit, right? Some of us may not have all of them, but we know people that do, and we tend to hang around them and pull and gravitate and pull some things out of there. Two things are going to happen. Either someone's going to pull you up or they're going to pull you down, right? So just wanted to just go back on what Keith was saying on that. And it's like, sometimes we can do everything in our purpose, but our kids just are going to find out on their own what they want to do. And I don't ever want it to be, because I've seen some scenarios of my stepdaughter and my stepchildren and things of that nature where we think they're not listening, but then they come back and they tell you, it's like, yeah, I heard everything that you said and I'm applying it. So they are listening. They will make mistakes, just like we made mistakes. And some of us are still making mistakes, even at our older age, right? But it's just about being in the right place and having the right people around us to guide us, to help make better choices, better decisions, to help us find out who we are. Because God gave each one of us a vision and a dream. But my dream isn't necessarily Keith's dream, right? God gave me a word. God may have given Keith the word. Sometimes He may align us just in the atmosphere, right? Spirit of sometimes we are on the same bandwidth, and I'll say something to Keith's kids, and or Keith will say something to one of my kids, and my kid will look at me and they'll start laughing. And I'm like, I didn't get with Keith to tell you this. It's just us being in alignment, right? Got to be equally yoked in friendship, equally yoked in business, equally yoked in who you do life with. This way, when you fall, you got people there to pick you up because they already know the path and the trajectory that they feel like what you have in you. So
Okay. So Vincent or Fletcher. So is that you mentioned something about making mistakes or what have you. Is making those mistakes in one's life, is that part of that thing, the process of finding who you are? Is that part of that process of finding who you are, going through that? You say they're gonna make mistakes no matter what foundation you laid out for them.
Yeah, they're gonna make mistakes. Matter of fact, on the show, I have a guy. I wish I could play it. I should have sent it to you. I know we're gonna talk about it, but the guy was talking about that. But the problem is, yes, they're gonna make mistakes. If you done gave them goals, you done did everything you can do. You done set your belief in them. You gotta let them go. The problem is, the parents, like you said, if you really truly believe you did that, you should be sleeping peacefully at night. You should be able to be saying, I done did everything I do. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with what they go. I trust in what I gave them. That's like the Most High give. Most High let us go and make choices. He gave everything he can because he believed in that he put a foundation in you that you won't fall, but you won't fall much as most people will. I tell my kids that all the time. I'm trying to give you grounded. Like we talk about trees being planted, and the roots goes out, and what that roots doing going under the ground. And me and Extraordinaire were talking about that. And the roots, they're going in that ground. The ground is dark, it's wet, it's muddy. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. You know what I'm saying? And it's spreading out. But what it's doing is looking to be stable and get structure. And once it gets structure, that's when it starts coming up out the darkness into the light. You know what I'm saying? Even that it went into that light, it still got to stand the wind. Still got to stand the hail, the rain. So that foundation made them strong. But it's still, when they still, some trees fall down. Some foundation actually, some trees lean. You know what I'm saying? That foundation came, but they got a solid foundation. They'll stand up tall. You know what I'm saying? But they're gonna go through some storms and some rough days. But the question is, once they leave out there, are you cool with being rescued? You know what I'm saying? Are you cool with that? So on the show I did that, the guy was talking about that, how you set goals with your kids and how you when you put that in there, if you truly put those things in them, you truly feel that you did right, you should be able to sleep peacefully. And you should be able to trust that word and trust, if you believe and trust the Most High, that He went out there and you done gave him tools to make it if you do choose another way. You know what I'm saying? So I spoke about that too also on the show right there because I went the wrong way, not because of my family, but those things that I had inside of me. When I came to Texas, and I'm sorry I'm going long, I came here with no family. I got kicked out of Louisiana. I came to stay with my dad. Never lived with my dad before. Never didn't have no friends here, nothing. And my friends was doing some stuff, but I came through because some stuff I just wasn't gonna do. Some things that I had inside of me that I wasn't gonna do. And I remembered all those things that I was taught. So them the things that saved me. So you know what I'm saying? But like I say, if you did do everything and give them everything, we should sleep peacefully and rest peacefully. That's what it was stating on that. Yeah.
I wanna bag things up just a little bit because I want us to kind of go deeper and talk about this issue from speaking to someone who may not be in our position. So my question, let me just come right on and say it plainly and as clearly as I can. This is for both of you gentlemen. How do how would you talk to someone who's having eternal struggle with themselves? They're struggling. Uh, and I think all three of us is fair enough to say that most men, unfortunately, are, are so proud, and women too. But I know for sure a lot of men are so proud they struggle in silence, and they have that son or daughter, as you said, Vincent, who is observing them, watching how they handle their struggle. But they don't have the tools that both you gentlemen just exhibit. Now, you all have some tools because perhaps we have gone through certain process in life. So I'm saying this, our goal on this platform, or we are to try to reach those because people are listening to us. There's probably a man out there right now who got so much pride, self pride, and suffering in silence. I've suffered in silence before a part of my life. So how do we talk to that person?
Keith, you want me to go first?
You go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
All right. I think for me, Larry, I mean, extraordinary, the thing that has worked for me is, and I had to graduate to this level. As men, we're already prideful, a lot of us, right? Uh, you know, you hear back in the 70s and 80s, it was taboo for African American men to even talk about going to counseling or, going to speak to someone or even just being vulnerable, right? Because it was a sign of weakness in some areas, right? Just kind of depend on where you grew up. You just didn't expose certain things because people would use it against you. Uh, but as I continued in my walk, in my faith, I just understood that, sometimes we have to be transparent and we have to be vulnerable. We got to share a piece of ourselves in order to get something back, right? Not necessarily saying that there's a motive or anything, but just being truthful and just saying, hey, this is what I experienced. This is what I went through. You're not alone, and even sometimes I think it's in our nature to want to fix things. Sometimes I may not have the answer, but the best thing that I have been able to tell some people when I don't have that answer is, hey, I'm not as qualified in that area. Let me get you over to someone that can help you or be a little bit more of some help to you. But again, the vulnerability and the transparency and the realness, because once people start seeing how real you are, may not be the first time, may not be the second, right? Remember, I'm an introvert, so I like to observe and watch and learn. People are watching, right? Even the kids are watching. Everyone's watching. Either they're watching for us to fail, or either they're watching for us to succeed, or else to be able to reach out to us. But just having that open dialogue, just giving a piece of your example of what you've struggled with, hopefully it's in the same areas, and you give them some wisdom or some knowledge, and just say, hey, I don't necessarily have all the answers, but this is what I have experienced. This is what I've been able to walk through. This is what worked for me. Sometimes it's good to learn from people that it didn't work because you can use the opposite of what they did, right? It's two sides to that coin. So
That's a good point. Go on,
just
Fletcher.
You asked me this question 10 years ago, man. It'd be different than what I am. But 10 years ago, I'd have been trying to solve their problem, trying to fix them, take them by the hand, come on, go with me. I did all that. But now I would say I try to listen to them and make them realize themselves. You know what I'm saying? I want them to ask the questions. You know what I'm saying? Well, what do you think? Well, why is that? What do you think about that? What if this was like this? What if they said this? You know what I'm saying? I want them to really think about the moment, what they doing, because a lot of stuff that I 10 years ago I saw and what I see now is totally different. I look back at it and say, damn, I looked at that wrong. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes when somebody close to something, they too close to it, they can't see it. And they ain't gonna see it until they realize you gotta let them see it. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm learning just talk it out with them. You know what I'm saying? Let them ask them the questions, you know what I'm saying? So what you think about it? You know what I'm saying? What you could have done better. Is there anything you could have done better with that? Well, what you think how they felt with that? You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking about those things like that. Like my biggest thing was somebody saying something about their marriage and stuff, and I'm like, well, what's the vision? Where y'all headed? Where y'all going? You know what I'm saying? Well, well, it's unclear. Oh, she unclear, so you unclear, so that could be a problem with her, don't you think? You know what I'm saying? Have you ever talked about this? You know what I'm saying? Have y'all, I'm trying to get them. I'm not trying to take my own understanding. You know what I'm saying? I'm letting it happen naturally, because I can be wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I really want, when I talk to somebody, I want them to see it and see, can they see it that way? And when I start getting more deep into the questions, more deep into that, I might start seeing their way. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm humbling myself to put myself in their shoes and understand, because where they coming from. You know what I'm saying? Then understand that, especially if they talk about somebody else, it's always two sides. I'm hearing just their side. You know what I'm saying? So all those factors plays a hand. Even like my friend, I'm not gonna sit there and listen to you talk about your marriage. If I love you and I want you and your marriage to work, I can't sit here and agree with you just to make you feel good. You know what I'm saying? So it's other factors in the things that make me think now. Back in the days, I probably like, yeah, man, she need to do this, man. I don't know why without even thinking about, is he telling me this? Is this the truth? This is his side. You know what I'm saying? So I try to look at all the aspects of the thing now instead of just rushing into it, and just be that ear. You know what I'm saying? Just be that ear and just try to show them different ways, different things, how they see things different, and have they tried this or that before we go to that dark place. Before we try to, especially if they're in a dark place, saying dark things, I want to bring them to the light. You know what I'm saying? I want to bring them to the light, and then I'm going to focus on them. You know what I'm saying? Well, what you going to do this? What you going to do that? Because me and my friend, we had the same conversation about 2 days ago, and that's what we were doing. And we were talking about business, and we got to the point, I kept asking him deep questions, then he finally realized, he said it to me. He said, well, I just wanted it because you just wanted it. That's why you did it. Okay, so we can't blame nobody else. You know what I'm saying? We can't look at nobody else. We both start laughing. So just trying to be humble myself, and even tone like Vince talk. Vince always got an even tone. Vince going to be quiet. He going to wait, Paul. Sean taught me that too, man. Pause, let them finish. Wait a minute before I start talking. So I want to make sure I heard the question right or what they saying right, to get them time to think it. Because sometimes somebody you'll say something and they just agree with you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even got it out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What? No, wait a minute. No, so just try to be mindful of what I'm saying, what I'm doing, to see what they receive.
Friends, if this is your first time tuning in to the world premiere Word on the Streets, we want you to know you're in a safe haven. You're in a safe spot. In today's world, we inundated with so much stuff in front of us all the time. We're constantly bombarded with distraction. Everywhere you turn, whether it be social media, television, you name it. Your kids, your wife, your friends, your neighbor, your job. Our plate is full. But we want you to know that you can find a sacred place every Thursday at 7:30 Central Standard Time. And that is world premiere Word on the Street with us. And look, we promise you that if you want to sit down on the floor and talk about it, we'll get on the floor with you. We want to meet you where you are. We want to be that bridge over your troubled water. So friends, if this is your first time, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you will never have to miss an episode. Anytime we go on live, you will be notified. So don't touch that dial. We're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere unless you're going to let someone know, hey, y'all better tune in to World Premiere Word on the Streets. Other than that, we're going to take a few minutes and we'll be back. Thank y'all for coming to World Premiere Word on the Streets.
Know your why and fuel your transformation. Kickstart fat burning naturally with Java Burn, your morning metabolism boost. Push past limits on the Peloton indoor bike. Fitness meets freedom. Wear your purpose. The Know Your Why T is a message in motion. Reflect, reset, and realign with our exclusive journals for soul clarity. And be moved by The Soul Never Forgot, a video experience that speaks to your inner truth. With over 21 hand-picked wellness products, we've got everything you need to transform body, mind, and life. Shop now, start strong. At Know Your Why Wellness, where transformation begins with truth.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're feeling the message, show some love. Hit that subscribe button, tap like, and share this with a friend who needs to hear it. Our hosts will be right back after this brief but powerful message. Don't go anywhere, because what's coming next, we're taking it to a whole new level.
You don't have to be strong, man. You don't have to be strong. You know, a lot of times we think that we got to be strong. You know, maybe you're the man or the woman in your family, or maybe you're the leader and you feel like you got to be strong. You feel like if you're not strong, then you're less, or you're not enough, or you're letting people down. And we live in a world where a lot of people try to tell you, you got to be strong, you got to push through, you got to keep going. And I understand that. Some of us is going through this life hurt. And I know when I played sports, anytime I continue to play the game hurt, I end up being injured. And sometimes that injury kept me out for seasons. And a lot of you know that injury really killed my career because I never took the time to rest and say, you know what, I need to recover. I need rehab. And so some of you watching this right now, you're in a season right now where you're hurt. Maybe you lost a job, maybe you lost a loved one, maybe you lost a relationship, maybe, you know, it's just life, it just feels different and you're hurt. But a lot of you are feeling the external pressures to keep going, to keep smiling when you're not okay, to hide your tears, to be the strong one, to be the warrior. You see, a warrior to me is not a person that continues to fight. A warrior to me is a person that knows which battles to fight. And I'm going to tell you right now, sometimes the battles that you're fighting are meant for you to fight, and sometimes they're not meant for you to fight. Sometimes these battles aren't yours. So one of the things that I had to do in my journey is I had to step back and look back and say, man, like, what are the chains in my life that seem like they aren't chains? Maybe for you it's social media. So my friend on this live right now, as I'm protecting my peace and disconnected, and it doesn't mean that I'm having a terrible life. My life is beautiful. But just like this nature that I'm in right now, this nature isn't beautiful. But soon as the seasons change, this nature will flourish, will blossom. It will be full of life. Full of life. So maybe you're in a season of disconnection. Maybe you're in a season of confusion. But I want to tell you to stay the journey and stay the course, because seasons change.
Have you been carrying silent wounds for far too long? It's time to turn inward and begin the healing. Introducing Healing the Inner Child, a powerful ebook designed to help you confront the pain, reconnect with innocence, and rewrite your story with compassion. Pair it with the Inspired Journal. There's a spiritual solution to every problem, your daily reminder that no struggle is too great when you invite divine guidance in. And for your life's direction, My Soul Purpose Journal offers a sacred space to reflect, release, and realign with your truest self. This isn't just journaling, it's soul work. Start your journey of healing, clarity, and personal power today. Download Healing the Inner Child now on Gumroad. Get the journals on Amazon. Your peace begins with one page. Write it, feel it, free it. Start your journey of healing today.
I want to pick back up where Shelton was talking about your season. See, in this walk of this silent battle that we deal with, men and women, both sex, we all deal with it. Our ego and our pride keep us locked in prison. We are locked in our personal prison. But just like Mother Nature have different seasons, this thing that you're going through, it won't last forever. It's a season. But here's the problem. Here's the challenge, Vincent. Here's the challenge, Fletcher. Sadly, so often when we are going through those seasons, we adopt those seasons as though they are us. I'm a divorced man. I'm a failure. I didn't pass. I didn't get the job. I'm a failure. I didn't graduate. I'm a failure. I didn't accomplish the goal. We attached what seemingly seemed like a failing proposition that moment in your life. And when you're struggling, when you're dealing with momentary of depression, of dealing with not getting things or having things go your way, unfortunately, we identify ourselves with titles. And those titles, friends, if y'all really listen, pull up a chair. Those titles are not you. That job isn't you. I know you're always on time. In fact, you make it there 10 minutes before time. You're the first one there and the last one to leave. You love it. And many people, Fletcher, identify themselves with their job. Some people identify themselves with sports, with other things. But whatever it is outside of you, it's not you. And when we adopt things outside of ourselves, it's a high probability that when the cars start falling down, it can really rip you apart. You can find yourself dealing with this battle that this topic is about, this silent battle. And not even to mention our upbringing. There's so many burning issues inside of us that we're dealing with already. The way that we interpret and understand things. Are we really understanding things from our personal point of view? Or are we analyzing, eternalizing, and understanding things from the way we was brought up? Lastly, I want to say this, and there's a lot on this table that I'm just pouring out lemonade, Kool-Aid, and whatever y'all want, but and maybe some rice and gravy on the side. But lastly, I want to say this because it would be unfair. It would be unfair to just lay it all out there as if we can somewhat fix all of this by focusing on the things we did wrong. And all of that we can, a lot of that, 80%. But then there is another component, and it's a sickness. And it's a real sickness, friend. And it's called depression. Depression is happened to many people in America. And just like we seek physician help for a broken arm, we need to seek professional help for depression. See, depression is a chemical imbalance in our brain. So even if I want to break loose from this struggle I'm dealing with on the inside, I still find myself saddened, broken, and depressed. It is difficult for me to move forward. You may need to seek professional help when you have tried all those other factors. It may be an imbalance, and they have medication to help you find that balance in your cortex, your dopamine, because it's an imbalance in the nervous system of the brain, but there's medication for that. And I would seize the floor. I know I put a lot out there, But what Shelton was talking about, I want to go back to it. It's the fact that a lot of us forget it may be a season that you're going through in your life. Things, it's a challenge moment in your life. Don't get it twisted. Don't get confused that what you are going through is the summation of who you are, because it's not. Go ahead on, brother.
Now, if I can, I'd like to go back to even the commercial, the intermission break when they was talking about journaling. I remember, man, just
Yeah.
as a man, because I don't know if I told y'all, I write poetry as well. But at one point, I used to journal, and I haven't journaled in, gosh, a couple of years. I remember going back to some of my writings after my first marriage. And I remember going back and I'm reading the writing, something that I put down, several things that I put down 5, 10 years prior to me writing them. And it was an eye opening experience for me because I'm looking at the words that I put down. These came from me. And it was kind of frustrating because I'm like, man, I'm still going through this. Like it's weird, like just sitting up there reading your own writing, and it's like, you look back and you look at the letters from your ex-wife, things that she wrote, things that she put out there, and was like, I'm still, or at that point when I was reading the journal, I was like, man, there's no reason for me to continue to just be in this rut, right? As an introvert, we already are isolated anyway, so I'm fine with isolation. The problem is we can't stay isolated because that's when we lose it. There's moments that we really have to set back and pull back, and there's moments where we need to be around people. I remember when I was going through the divorce, and I had friends that we both had, and they're inviting me over, and it's the shame, it's the embarrassment, it's the self sabotage, it's the negative thinking.
Right.
I don't want to be around them, right? What are they going to think? You know, Move churches. I didn't want to be at the same church because I'm like, I don't want to have to answer what people are, shaming. Or the one thing I tell my youngest, and I used to always tell my son, just don't worry about the other brother. Like you worry about you. Don't worry about what someone else does. But we say that, but we have a tendency to say we don't care what other people think.
Hmm.
Sometimes that's not true, right? We really do care. I care about the ones closest to me and what they think. Let me
Yes.
put that out there right now. Because if I say I don't care, then I'm ignoring the fact of what they're telling me, right? But just going back to that journal extraordinaire, it's a powerful thing when you can go and write what you're feeling on paper.
Yes.
Hopefully you've changed and have tackled and have allowed others to impart in you and sought the help necessary, whether it be counseling, whether it be medication. I once saw a counselor and she told my ex-wife, she said, you know what? He has a compulsive disorder. I mean, he means well, but he just doesn't know always how to get it across. Very direct. I found myself one day telling a buddy of mine, I'm like, hey, do this, do this, do this, do this. And I had to call him back or I text him and I said, man, I apologize. I didn't ask you to do this. I just basically gave you an order and said, do this, do this, do this, do this. Right. So it's that suffering and silence. And, we hear that quote of, the Lord gives his greatest problems to his greatest warriors. Right. But on the other flip side of that, man, we as warriors, we hurt too. Right. I asked a guy one time, I said, man, who do you go to? Because I see you helping so many people and you pour into so many people, but who's helping you? Right. And it's like sometimes we overextend ourselves. You asked that question couple minutes ago, extraordinary about, what would we tell a person? You know, I'd already said, just be transparent, but you also got to tell them, hey, there's no judgment. There's no shame.
That's right.
Sometimes people just need you to walk through life with them.
Yeah.
Walk through. Even if you don't necessarily have that answer,
Stand
sometimes
on the floor with them.
they just need you to walk and support them, right? Now, my time is valuable. I'll let them know that, and I'll let them know straightforward, like, hey, I'm dedicating my time to assist and help you, right? Because what are we supposed to be fruitful with? Our time, talent, treasure, and our testimony, right? So you gotta sometimes walk through without even having an answer and support while trying to hold them accountable while holding yourself accountable. A lot of times I've tried to counsel and mentor the people at the same time that I'm counseling and mentoring the people. Some of that same stuff that I'm telling other people, it's a refresher to me. So I'll lay back in the cut.
Yeah, yeah. Man, I love it that you mentioned journaling because that is such an effective therapy. Is writing your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts down. That's highly effective. I just wanted to echo that. I do that a lot as well. Go ahead on, Fletcher.
As I'm growing, and as I'm becoming, and when I'm coming, being, I'm doing, and having, I'm, I'm changing. What I'm saying, I question a lot of things about myself. I question a lot of things because I'm trying to be humble and be a servant. You know what I'm saying? So when you say to me, how do I, if someone come to me, how do I act? I really truly try to wait on the Most High. I try not to interfere. I'm trying my best not to interfere because I really want to do His will. You know what I'm saying? Because I know me, I can mess everything up. I know my mind, how I think. I can say something, think something wrong, then I'm gonna come out my mouth and say something wrong and cause more problems. So I'm trying to be very mindful now that I know, especially that I'm on this internet, because I see the internet and how the power of the tongue for real can hurt someone. You know what I'm saying? Can damage someone, can cause someone some pain. So I'm very mindful of what I'm doing now. You know what I'm saying? Being on this mic, being on this internet, speaking to people. Even now that I'm meeting more people too, I'm making myself available. You know, so I'm trying to be more mindful of what I'm saying. So I don't have all the answers. I don't have to have all the answers. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I just need to listen. Just be there for and just listen. You know what I'm saying? Just like you said, show up to the gym, walk on the treadmill, and listen. You know what I'm saying? Or have a good workout for them. Or have a cookout. You know what I'm saying? And just laugh. Play some music. Take a walk. I'm just trying to realize what if I'm needed for. So I'm trying to be that servant to get that understanding and say, do I have the tools? Have the Most High given me the tools to speak to this person? You know what I'm saying? So that's that with me. As I'm growing, I'm trying to be that, and I'm trying to have myself equipped, by studying. You know what I'm saying? Educate myself on many different things before I open my mouth. So that is there with me. You know what I'm saying? I can speak about divorce, but again, the divorce I had, the guy I am now, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we have a whole different conversation about divorce, about my divorce and where I'm at now. So I try to be mindful. What I speak now, 10 years from now, would it still stay true? You know what I'm saying? 10 years from now, would I be still walking the same way? So with me, it's different as I grow, man. I really want to help someone, but I know the way I think, the way I speak can hurt someone also. So I'm trying to be very mindful what comes out of my mouth, very mindful of what I'm saying. If somebody call me, want to talk to me, I'm very honored because, like I said, they took their time at my time. So I want to be very precise now when I'm speaking to them. You know what I'm saying? Me and Extraordinary, we talk about negativity. I really don't want that. I really want to deal with, and most, you know what I'm saying, we all fall short. We start talking about other things that keep us distracted. You know what I'm saying? And I try to reel in away from that because I know how easy it can distract me. So I'm fighting that battle also while they fighting that battle with them. So I'm very mindful of my time, very mindful of what I say and what I think. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody can call me and that what they're giving me, even though they need help, it could be hurting me. You see what I'm saying? It could be running me. So I got to be very mindful. Is this my job to even speak with him? even even attack that. So I got to be mindful of what I'm doing. So like the thing I did today, I was telling, and she came in about the kid, about the millenniums, and saying when you done gave everything to them. You're right. But again, when you done gave everything to them, you know you have. As me, I'm gonna tell you this story. Then I'm gonna pass it on. My daughter, she's my oldest daughter. She's 37 now. And when we was having trouble, I remember she called me at 2 or 3 in the morning one time. And she called me, and I'm like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? Where you at?" Now she in South Oak Cliff at a park. I'm like, "What are you doing at a park at 2 or 3 in the morning?" She said, "Well, Dad, I'm roller skating." I'm like, "Roller skating?" And I'm going off. I'm mad, and I'm saying, she just saying, "Dad, why you tripping?" I'm all right. I'm over here. So when I hung the phone up, and I'm mad, but the Most High showed me, you mad, but she just sitting there like ain't nothing wrong. She not worried about it, so why are you worried about it? You done got yourself all riled up, and you can't do nothing about it. Give it to me. You give it to me. You ain't supposed to be worried about it. You supposed to be worried about what I'm supposed to be doing for you. You supposed to be doing for me. I got her. And he was right. And after that, I went to sleep, and I've been peaceful then. Some things we just can't control, you know what I'm saying? Like say, the things if I can get, whatever I can learn, whatever my belief system, what I know, all I can give you is what I know. My cup gonna flow to you. After that, I hope you get it. But like you said, Vince, the prodigal son. When you out there in that rain, you ready to come? I got the umbrella, I got the coat, I got everything to come on in. Now you ready? You know what I'm saying? To receive what I have for you. Let's work together. So that's it right there. That's what I work on all the time to see at the end of the day what the Most High want me to do. You know what I'm saying? And whatever He want me to do, gonna guide me whatever I need to do. So that's what me, man.
I want to add this full disclosure. Fletcher and I, we talk periodically. We talk frequently. And when we're having these conversations, and Fletcher know, I think he know my character, my energy level enough to know, sort of like you, Vincent. I don't particularly like. I don't share my energy easily with.
Yeah, hold on. Neither one of these guys share the engine easy. Neither one of them, I'm telling you. Not easy.
Yeah, look out, look out, look out now. Look out.
I understand. No, you're not sharing the keys. I'm not saying you don't share, but they not wasting time. Like you
I
said,
protect my
there's
energy.
time.
I
So
protect mine. Yeah.
so having said that, this is this is why I don't a lot of time when I got things brewing in my spirit because Fletcher know who I am. He's not going to waste my energy, and I talk it out with him. And because it's like you say, Vincent, I have to talk about it with someone because it's not a healthy place for me to keep things locked up. And at the same time, I do it with someone. There's not many people that I know is going to respect my time because you don't get that time back, and that's too expensive. I wanted to just say that somebody else take it.
No, what Keith
So
and you had alluded to when you both talked about energy, like I'm a big proponent of like energy. Like at some point when I'm attempting to help someone out, I do have a limit of how much negativity and how much like I like to address the elephant in the room. I allow someone to talk, tell them what's going on, you know, but if it continues day after day after day after day after day after day, at some point, as you said,
Yeah.
Keith, I got to be mindful and I have to make sure I'm praying
Yeah.
for the right words to say and not to say
Yeah.
because they already came to me, right? So they're trusting me with that ability to, walk, support, give advice, give suggestions, bounce things off of. There have been some times where I've had to basically, like, I like to turn things around on people and make sure they heard what they said. So this is what you said, right? So this is what you're
Right.
dealing with. So
Repeat what they say. That's right.
yeah, you have to repeat what they say so they can digest it as well. Because sometimes people just ramble, and
Yeah.
sometimes they need to hear it, but at the same time, What are you going to do about it? I know extraordinary. You've heard of Joe Madison, right?
Yes.
The late great Joe Madison. You
Yes.
know, like you know the eagle.
The eagle. Yes.
What are you going to do with it now that you know where we are? What are you going to do with it, right?
Yeah.
So this is how I like to put the accountability back on the individual. A young man was at the book club that I go to every Saturday morning at 6:30. Group of us, you know, we deep dive and we read faith-based books, talk about it, you know, read chapters at a time. But we have a couple of 20-year-olds in there. One of them is my son, one of my youngest, and there's two other 20-year-old men. Somebody we were talking about, he asked a question. It came up, they said, what do you just do when you can't help someone? He was like, some people you just can't help. And I looked at him and I said, okay, you're a coach, right? You're a young basketball skills coach and an athlete. I said, would you give up on one of your athletes or one of your people that you're coaching? And he's like, no. I say, okay, so you can't say some people you just can't help, right? God can help everyone. We're just a mouthpiece. We're the vessel. We're the people that's coming in alignment with them. Some people you just have to walk away from and just pray from afar and just continue praying that, hey, God, either put the right words in me to say so that I can support and help this individual or make it align their path or change their heart, right? Again, I like to walk through, I like to drop nuggets off to people, and I'm a very big proponent of them saying up until now, because some people have a tendency to speak a curse over themselves. Oh, I can't do this. I can't do this. I keep doing this. I keep doing this. And I'm very big to interrupt after they finish. I'm like, hey, let's change your thinking. Let's say up until now, even if it happened 2 minutes
Yeah.
ago,
Right.
you break it, start fresh, forgive
Right.
yourself, start on a new trajectory of where you want to go and say, up until now, this is what I used to struggle with. Some people in the past, I think they would get offended with that. But after they saw my logic, and I talk them through it. I'm like, it starts with the mind. It starts with your words. You have to be able to
Exactly.
digest and taste the things that are coming out of your mouth, right? And if you keep saying, this always happened. I'm always this. I'm always that. You're going to expect that to happen. But if you use the power in the words of saying up until now, oh man, that's just a game changer because it allows you to stop and think about something. My 25-year-old told me when he was 4 years old, man, I was going in on him. I don't know if I spanked him, whooped him, or something was going off. I may have had a Keith moment and just dropped some F bombs way back then. I don't know, Keith. but but he told me back then afterwards, after I apologized and I asked for forgiveness, he said, Dad, that's okay. He said, sometimes you got to think before you speak. He said this at 4 years old, and I didn't know if he knew this or not, but he said something that was biblical, right? We are supposed to think before we speak. So it's like it's okay for us to mess up. It's okay for us to not be perfect. It's okay for us to admit to other people, hey, I do need some assistance. I am struggling with this. We have to stop self-sabotaging ourselves and get out of our own way to allow other people to help us, especially as men, right? We are the last of a dying breed, the three of us right here. And
That's
it's our job and it's up to us to continue just being the light, being the salt, and just continuing to just pour into others.
That's so true. And Fletcher, I want you to dwell on this
Go ahead.
because you and I we talk about this all the time, and that's the last statement that Vincent was mentioning is the mind, the thought, which is our biggest challenge is how we think about things. It's our thinking, and as we so often say, looking in that mirror, looking at taking that closer look at yourself instead of always blaming others. Take a look at yourself, your thoughts, why you perceive things as you do. Why do you think of yourself as you do? Why you think you can't? Why not entertain the possibility that you can? Talk about that, please.
Yeah, and that's what why you think I was speaking to somebody about showing them something, and they were telling me, as long as you don't tell me what they can't do, I say I'm gonna tell you what they can do. You know what I'm saying? Why would I tell you what you can't do? You know what I'm saying? That's the ability, like I said. So that's a change the way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? Just like we always say on the show, me and Extraordinary was saying, like, lack and abundance are traveling the same route, but we choose to pick lack. It's a choice. You know what I'm saying? And that start in your mind. It start with the way you think. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It start with your behaviors. Like we already talk about, we've been raised a different way. You have your parents, your school teacher, your coach, your friends, your neighborhood, your environment. All these things shaped you. You know what I'm saying? It made you the person that you think you are, but you have the ability to change that. It's just a behavior. But if you start pulling on your belief, you know what I'm saying? Pulling on your belief, what you believe, and when you start believing and truly believing, you start moving accordingly, then it become a behavior. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about what you believe. And that's the battle right there. That's the war right there. That inner battle. I tell people I love going to the gym. All my life, not all my life, since I was about 13 years old, I remember the first time I was lift weights. Young man named Pa Sam, straight out, but he had
Yeah.
weights in the garage, outside in the garage. And I remember seeing him, he had this white beat on, man. And he told me, I got it. And I said, can I lift? He said, well, get under the weight. And I remember that weight hit my chest. And he said, get it off of you. Get it out. And I shook and fought and moved. You got put your legs back on the ground. Get the foundation, you know what I'm saying? And when I got that weight up, that was it. That was it. Because when I looked at that weight, I really said, I can't lift that weight, man. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. He said, get down and get it off. You can get it. He was talking to me. And I got that. That was it. That's when I started learning that battle is with me. And that's what we have. The battle is an internal battle. You can have whatever you want in this life. But the battle is how are you willing to go sacrifice and get it? Are you willing to do what it takes? And before you can do what it takes, you got to believe, you got to see, you got to believe it. You got to become it. And it don't mean that it's going to happen then. See, that's what everybody wants, this microwave stuff. Well, I did it, I tried, it didn't work. So what do that mean? You did it, why would you think it worked? It's something you never did. You tried it, you figured out that don't work. Now let's go another way. Oh, that way didn't work. Okay, well, let's go this other way. Oh, that didn't work. And then you just go on and what is going to work? Okay, that worked. Okay, then you're going to get something new. Then that's life right there. That's the battle right there. But guess what's happening? While you failing, you growing. While you failing, you learning. You even learning yourself when you fail. You learning what you can deal with yourself. When you go in there sitting there, you done fell and you done went down and you go in there, sit on that sofa, go in that dark room, you talking to yourself. My dad used to tell me I used to work. My dad told me how to work on cars. And I would go work on the car, and I'd be doing something, and I'm trying to fix it, and I would call my dad. I'm like, hey, Dad, I can't figure this out. This ain't working, man. And he would tell me this, and I'm like, Dad, I already did that. He said, son, I'm telling you, that's it. I'm like, no, man. Dad, I'm telling you. He said, son, you frustrated. I said, what do you mean? He said, son, you frustrated. Step away. Dad, I'm telling you, man. He said, step away, son, and go come back. Let it come back the next day. And every time he told me, I used to be mad too. I would step away. I would come back, I would have a new look on it, a new it, and I would be less, and it worked every time. That's life. But what is we distracted? We got time, you know what I'm saying? Things speeding up, the kids, this, and you don't have that moment. Then you got to rush. You think about what the person to your left or the person to your right looking. You don't have that moment. But when you're in that gym, Vincent, that's extraordinary. When you're in that gym, it's you and the weights. The only thing soft in that gym is that mat. It's you and the weights. It's you and that push. It's you getting it off of you. So that's what I'm saying. And that's a belief. That's a belief that you must have. But you're going to fail. And that's what I was talking about on the show this morning about our kids. They're going to fail. It's us, a team. We come here and lift them and say, get up, man. I know I believe in you. Get up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Come on, walk. No, you're going to walk that walk by yourself now. I can't walk with you. I can give you some stuff, but you're going to walk that line by yourself. I'll be on the other side when you get over from all that. I'll be there waiting on you, but you're going to have to walk that by yourself. And I know you can do it. That's it. That's what it is, man. But you got to start off with that belief.
Friends, this has been another powerful show. We're talking about the battle within and what you can do to overcome it, to break it. We can't give it all to you in one show, which is why you need to subscribe and come back and be with us every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Today we gave you some tools though you can put in your box and work with and work on. We gave you that when you're feeling like you're failing, that it just might be a season part of your life. Not only is it a season, but also it's a process. And you're really not failing because during this process, you're developing, you're growing. So you see, you almost in a sense that even when it seems as if you're failing, you're actually growing. And you've heard of growing pain. It may be painful, but out of that pain will come new birth. So we talked about season. Fletcher talked about having faith and believing. That if you believe, see, if you start believing, then that will start altering the way that you think. And if you start observing the way that you think, that will inhibit the way that you speak. So your self talk, as Vincent said, it won't be from a negative posture, it'll be more from a positive posture. Instead of talking as though things never work out for you, you will start making a positive statement. Up until now, you see, that was then. Up until now, that was me. But that was up until now. See, when I'm this new turn, this new curve, that's a new day. That's a new me. That's a new opportunity. That's new possibility. There's no limit. And then we gave you the opportunity to understand that when all else have failed, you got a safe haven right here with us. Because you can't do it all by yourself. You need a trusted ally. We're that for you. We're here every Thursday at 7:30. And friends, when you subscribe, we're on YouTube. You can go back and play this content over and over and over again. And it would help you because it's like a good song. It's like even your favorite rap. The more you hear things over and over again, it get into your subconscious mind, and you will find yourself saying what you've had on repeat. So if you can get some of what we've been talking about on this show tonight inside your subconscious mind, you will be all the better for it. So, on behalf of the amazing Keith Fletcher and the man with the golden voice, Mr. Vincent Craig, and I'm extraordinaire, we're bringing to you the best that we got. And we want to help you break this inner battle that you're having. And we're excited to do it. So make sure y'all subscribe. Last word for these wonderful gentlemen.
Keith, you want to go first?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go
Oh
ahead.
yeah, yeah. Hey, like I said, man, I'm on that be do have, you know what I'm saying? Be fruitful, do multiply, have dominion. One day at a time, man. Don't think about yesterday, think about today. Be better than you was yesterday. When you be better than you was, you becoming better. That means you can do more than you did yesterday, and you can have more than you did yesterday, man. You are not a tree, you're not an apple tree, you're not an orange tree. You're a human being. You can be whatever you decide to be, man. So hey, I thank y'all for listening, man. There you go, B. Let's roll with it.
Now, for me, I echo what Keith said, and it's all. I think the one thing that we have to understand is we have to find a way to forgive ourselves. Until we can forgive ourselves, we may just continue this tailspin, 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 tailspin up until now. But look yourself in the mirror. You know, you have to be your biggest advocate. I'm not saying be arrogant, but sometimes we have to build ourselves up in the mirror. Look across the reflection and tell that person that you love them and that you forgive them.
Hey, folks, tomorrow's 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to everyone. Selena,
Happy for
happy 4th, folks. Selena, we see you in the chat room. Thank you for driving up and being with us, holding it down in the chat room. And thank you, amazing Keith Fletcher. Thank you, Vincent Craig, Friends, this is the world premiere Word on the Street. Make no mistake about it. We will see y'all again Thursday evening, same time, same place, same channel. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Y'all be blessed.
And that wraps up another powerful episode of world premiere Word on the Streets. We're live every Thursday evening at 7:30 Central Standard Time, and we'd love to have you join us again. So take a moment to subscribe, tap that like button, and become part of this growing community. Until next time, guard your thoughts, speak only what you truly want to experience, and stay laser focused on what matters. Your words shape your world, and your mindset fuels your mission. We'll see you again, same time, same place, right here on World Premiere Word on the Streets, where truth meets transformation. Stay strong, stay grounded, and as always, stay true.